Yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Philipp Lottes. I'm CEO and founder of the Pheno-Inspect GmbH. We are basically automating the process of assessing plant parameters or crop variety parameters using drone imagery and modern vision-based, AI-based approaches. So in agriculture, the assessment of plants is called phenotyping, to keep it very simple, and therefore our name is Pheno-Inspect. So my goal for this presentation is to show you what we are doing at the company, and secondly, I want to show you use cases where we deploy our technology in order to support applications in crop production, breeding, and in agricultural research. So, but first, let's dive into what it means to assess plant parameters by using drones. So instead of going manually in the field and measuring sizes with the yardstick or looking at the canopy sizes, looking for weeds, scoring diseases, things like that, we say use your drone, fly over the field, and send us the data, and we process these parameters fully automatically. So a drone typically flies in a regular pattern over the field, takes hundreds or thousands of images. Then we are using photogrammetric tools in order to compute an entire big image representing the whole field. And then we run our software tools in order to extract the parameters. And if you think about an entire growing season, there are a lot of scouting tasks throughout the entire season. So you want to count plants early and late in the season. You want to size your plants. You want to know how homogeneous is my crop developing. Uh, are plants more or less affected by stress and disease? What's about the canopy development? When start certain varieties to flower? There are tons of other questions researchers, breeders, but also farmers ask to their to the development of the plants in their fields, and we say we build digital experts supporting basically these questions in automatically extracting the parameters answering these questions by using drone imagery. If we are going into the large field, of course, for crop production, for instance, we don't have the chance anymore to cover the entire field with just one drone flight, with having this high resolution imagery, because the drone would simply fly too long. But still, the tasks are the same. So basically, we want to detect diseases, we want to count plants, we want to detect pests, we want to scout weeds. And the only thing which changes is the flight planning of the drone. So instead of covering the entire field, we subsample certain areas in the field, and by this can make advantage of drone imagery also for the crop production in large field area and not rely anymore only on satellite data, which has clear limitations in terms of resolution you need to gain certain information. So let's dive into one of the use cases. So this is a breeding field in wheat, and one of the most relevant parameters is counting the ears because they are correlating to yield effectiveness and also to proper development of the plant. And the current approach is to subsample really small areas, here in this case, a half of a square meter, count the plants manually there, or the ears, and then extrapolate these results for the entire research plot or for a certain region in the field. And this is, of course, dangerous because you assume that you have a uniform distribution of your ears, which doesn't hold always in practice. And therefore, we say instead of counting the small sample sizes, count every ear on the field. Fly with the drone over the field, let us analyze the image data, and you get a result for every ear in the field. So on the left side, you see the RGB image input. On the right side, you see the results after running our pipeline on this data. And of course, you can raise the question that is this very high resolution imagery here, so it's in the sub millimeter level. But the good news is this works as well for lower resolution imagery taken by low-cost drones as well. So you need kind of a millimeter, 2 to 3 millimeter resolution on the canopy, but this is possible with today's drone out of the box. And if you count in rye, if you count in wheat or in barley, for instance, we don't care. We have digital experts, meaning pipelines which know about the visual appearance of these certain crop types, which can be used out of the box to count the plants and to get these parameters on large scale and less expensive than doing this on the manual in the manual way. So another example is here in corn I brought. So this is Emergence Scouting. So you want to know about the early vigor and want to compare different varieties. So in this case, we detect every single plant or every single object as usual. And then based on the single detection, which works properly, even if you have overlap or other occlusions or different disturbing objects in the field, different conditions, Based on this single plant detection, we detect higher level traits such as gap analysis, height of the plants, average height per plant, um, are weeds in the present, what's the canopy of one single plant, what's the variation in canopy, and so on. So this is all possible with our engine and can be computed fully automatically with just one drone flight over the field. Later in the season, of course, there is so much stuff overlapping in the field. You cannot properly count single plants anymore just by looking to the entire spatial extent. No worries. Here, in this case, we turn down the image problem to a Tassel counting problem. And one Tassel corresponds to one plant here. And since this allows us, if we count them properly, to also make a robust estimate for the number of plants in the field right before harvest. So this can be interesting if you are looking into your yield potential, or also can be a parameter which supports you in knowing when to do the harvesting. So in this case, here's a stand count map of this Tassel counting also by Tassel counting. So this is, I think, a 10 hectare sized field. If I show you the single images, I'm sorry. If I show you the single images, you see that they are not overlapping anymore, but they are basically distributed over the entire field. And for each of the single image, we can basically measure the scale using our technology and counting the tassels properly. And then we can, of course, extrapolate as well here, but we extrapolate not based on small sample size, it's rather big sample size. And it depends on the distribution of your flight planning across the entire field and obtain a stand count map at this point in time for the entire field. I'm happy that you took the time and listened to this talk until the end. Please contact me personally if you have further questions. If you are on LinkedIn, just follow us on LinkedIn. We provide our latest and greatest news always via this platform as well. So you are well informed if you follow us here on this platform. And with this, I want to close my talk, say thanks, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.